with Johannesburg Emergency Services, Robert Molatsi. Robert, good morning, and thanks for your time. So we've already had quite a bit of rain, heavy rain as well in the past couple of weeks. What have you seen happening because of blocked stormwater drains?
Yeah, most of our roads, we find out that there was flash floods, and also in most of our low-lying areas we had some flash floods, which mostly are caused by our blocked drainage systems. Our residents, most of the time when they clean, they try and put this debris on that drainage systems. When we have a lot of rainfalls like we're having now lately, we're almost receiving rainfalls almost every day. We tend to have a flash floods in those areas. So we trying to do our best to make sure that we educate our communities about making sure that they don't litter, they don't put their debris on their drainage systems, and also our residents in most of their floodlines. Our low-lying areas, our informal settlements will be the hardest hit when we have rainfalls like the ones which we have. So we making sure that they are prepared. They form part of our community emergency response teams. They know exactly what is it that they can do when we have emergencies which are caused by the wet weather conditions we're having.
So I know it's no excuse, but I have to ask, do we have enough bins around the city or places for people to actually put their litter? Not that it's an excuse for them to actually do it, but just out of curiosity.
No, we do have enough bins, because what you see on those drainage system is mostly like maybe if they're cutting trees and things like that, they will like tree branches. You find that they stack them in those drainage systems, and in most of the times you find out that it causes problems for us when we have rainfalls. So there's no excuse of saying that there's enough resources to make sure that people, they don't litter. And of course there's no excuse of not knowing what to do when there's emergencies which are caused by wet weather conditions, because with there people can be able to get out of us to be able to come where they are, especially our residents in our informal settlements. We try by all means to make sure that they are ready, they are prepared, they've got enough knowledge as to what is it that they're supposed to do, because we still find when they try and build in those floodlines, most of the time we know that they will be mostly affected by the flooding when we have rainfalls. So we try and educate them and make sure that they avoid trying to build in those areas.
Now, I know a couple of years ago, and I know that this is going to sound insensitive as well, but there was a comment, or there was an issue with people, homeless people, those who live on the streets, who it was said many were responsible also for some of the blockages of these systems. Just where are we with that?
Yeah, so because most of the time you find that when they do whatever they're doing on the street, they will normally put whatever debris in those stuff. So there is a lot of work which is being done by our colleagues from JMPD to try and make sure that our people who are out there, they are making sure that they're looking after.
How are we addressing that? I mean, without compromising or their situation.
Of course, is to make sure that they are referred to like the relevant centers, within the city, which can be able to look after them, so that we avoid incidences like those ones.
So does the city embark on a bit of a cleanup, especially now that we know that this is a situation come rainy season? Is there a concerted effort to make sure that these systems are not blocked?
Yes, we do. There is like cleanup operations which we conduct, and over and above that is to conduct our public education to our residents, because we know now, when we have, after the rainfalls, we will find out that we have an increase in terms of drowning incidents, which we have to respond. Now that the schools are already open, kids will be walking some through over this river streams when they go to school, and when they come back to school, they might be tempted to play around next to this area. So we might find out that there are a whole lot of number of incidents which we have to respond to. Hence, we intensify our public education program, targeting most especially our primary schools kids, to make sure that they stay away from those areas, so that we prevent incidences which might occur.
So you mentioned informal settlements.
Yes.
Is that where you are seeing the majority of the flooding, the city centre as well, where you are likely to see even more pollution in terms of litter and things like that?
Yes, in informal settlements is because that most of the residents, our residents are residing along the floodline, like our residents in in our areas like Straight, areas like Kliptown, just along a Klip Valley. So they are likely when you have persistent rainfalls like the ones we to having, they will be the most vulnerable communities which will be affected by, you know, floods in those areas.
So we need to do our bit and find a bin and put our rubbish in there.
Exactly.
And like you said, it's things like trees and branches and people who are felling and all of that. That stuff ends up in the drains.
Exactly, yes.
Okay, thanks very much for that. It's simple, but we do tend to forget the basic rules. Johannesburg Emergency Services spokesperson Robert Molautsi.